Good afternoon, somewhere. Probably good evening in another part of the world. Hopefully, you can join me. You know how sometimes my audio works. I always check my audio to make sure everything is good. Welcome. I see some eyeballs over there. Let me know if you can hear me. They check my audio. It should be fine, but we'll see what happens. Okay. It's an interesting topic. So hopefully, I would like to hear your take as well. The link is over there. If you want to chime in, let me hear your thoughts on this particular topic. Um, as you can see, if you're doing something in Ghana right now, oh man, it is no joke. The inflation and everything that's happening with the CD and all that stuff is real. So you have to be thinking about a couple of things and how you put yourself in a good position as well, to make sure that you don't overstretch yourself with this African project and stuff like that. So because we don't know when this inflation is going to slow down. We don't know that. So it's very important. We plan accordingly and take things, into consideration. Okay. So if you're there, let me know if you can see me, you can hear me. Put some questions. We take it from there. We'd like to hear your thoughts. So this video was a request by another YouTuber, for me to chime on some of these things. And also, I think it's fair because when we do consultations, we do talk about some of these things, right? We do, you know, talk about, let's say if you're African American, you're dating a Ghanaian or married to a Ghanaian, you're doing something in Ghana, or even Ghanaians that experience going back, doing something, these conversations, we have them. And the goal for me is fairness, right? Fairness. I believe fairness, right? I don't like exploitation. I don't want people who should be uh, taken advantage of. And stuff. And we're going to talk about how to now put yourself in a position for that to even occur, or for somebody to think they could actually get away with that kind of behavior. We're going to dive deep into that as we get close, right? So life happens, right? Divorce is an ugly thing. It only has few positive outcomes. The loss of dreams, aspirations, life, financial losses, and all those things. The burden is on the innocent children who never asked for this, right? So the stats are there. The effects on the children, which is linked to high drug usage, lower grades, more mental health issues, and higher suicide, right? So all those things, you would think maybe now, spouses or parents will be considering this thing, but no, it's a different world, 2022, right? People's happiness supersedes stability and roles and responsibility and obligations, right? That's where we are now. So I think we should make the adjustment. We should make the adjustment, for what it is, because hey, sometimes, listen, the enemy is right in the bedroom, it's in the living room and the kitchen, right? So when you have that kind of situation, it's very, very difficult to deal with when you spend most of your time, fighting inside, and so it makes it difficult for you to go out there and try to conquer the world, right? So it's one of those things that do happen, and I know men are suffering a lot. The data is coming out. Men are suffering relationships a lot. They don't speak up. A lot of things are going on. High blood pressure is up. Strokes is happening because they marry a terrorist in their house who's hell bent on destroying a peace of mind. He has undermined his leadership, trying to destroy his manhood because the manual for how to terrorize your husband, it's on IG and Facebook and all those places, TikTok. So some women are employing that to the highest degree, right? And so men uh, are dealing with these things quietly, occasionally, and we know what it is. Even in intimacy goes down. Some men are not even they're not even having the opportunity to have intimacy, right? So the data is there. So it's very tough, a very tough situations, to be in, and stuff like that. And I think the way I look at it is, If I think the man should lead, and I think the man should develop himself to be a leader because his shoulders can carry more weight than a woman's waist for most part. So I think it's very very important that and if a man you are not leading, I think you are opening yourself for a bunch of stuff, right? And I think when people play all their roles and responsibilities, we can have a productive relationship as well. It's just that right now there's external forces. The Western media, the Western approach of marriage is failing. It's not sustainable. It's not realistic. It's out of touch. It's out of reality. And so we have these things going on, right? So these things do happen. It may happen. Nobody's immune from this. But my goal is to make sure you put yourself in a situation that nobody is going to, you've invested 10, 15, 20 years into a relationship and somebody's supposedly happiness that they're not getting is going to make a decision, is going to just destroy everything you build. So my goal is not to put yourself in that position, whether you are man or woman, right? I am fair, very fair. Okay. Now, if you're man and the lady, the woman gives you peace, respect, absolute loyalty, give her the word, give her the word. Do everything you can to make sure she's fine, everything she needs, fight for her, protect her, do whatever, to make sure she's good. But if it's one of those days that, it's like a terrorist and who's hell bent on destroying peace of mind, as the man, you must decide what else you're gonna do, right? And I think my philosophy is when people know they can get away with things, they tend to do them. And so I have a thing that lines that I don't let anybody cross, no matter who you are. You cross them, we will go see the devil together. Okay. So I put it that way. So, and I do not negotiate with terrorists. Neither should you. Okay. Get off that. Now, let me say hello to a couple of people. Ajay, thank you for joining me here. Salif, appreciate. I hope everything is good. Leslie, yes, long time. Where I was wondering, where were you? Okay, thanks for coming back. Ton of questions today. There's some few things I can talk about to be fair with people that do the consultation, but I'll address some general things to protect yourself. Okay. Yeah, the enemy can be in the bedroom sometimes, and that's a difficult thing because the kids end up paying a burden and a heavy price, and then the trauma goes through the generation after generation, right? So, man, if you're looking at the inflation right now in the world, man, this is not a time to be dissolving the relationships. This is not a time. Okay, this is not a time because um, to be a woman, a single woman alone has its challenges, and to be a single woman later in your late 30s or 40s with multiple kids, leaves you vulnerable to all kinds of stuff. And so I think that people should not maybe pay attention to the gratifications and the attention from social media. Um, you don't let that thing come into the house, okay? And it's the main job to make sure that there's peace in the house so that you can plan and go win and be on the same team and develop yourself and live the life that you're supposed to be. Okay. So that's where I'm coming from. Now, there's a couple of things. There's a couple of things. As the topic, as the topic says, right? What is the topic again? Okay, the topic. Okay, should diasporas document marital assets in Africa to protect their interests during breakups? Right? Should I think 2022 we should. The marriage of the old do not exist anymore, and I think people need to come to the new reality. Um, People will leave for whatever reasons. Okay, sometimes legitimate. I think few of them are legitimate. Most of the time, it's not legitimate. People think there's this life asset that they are missing, and so whatever. I checked, there's nothing out there. Okay. Okay. So you must really start thinking about these things, right? So my goal is to help you understand why you shouldn't start wrongly in the first place. I always equate everything to building a house. The better, the stronger the foundation is, the more the house is going to be stable. So I'll give you a couple of scenarios. These are real stories that have come through. Sometimes you're a couple, you live in the West, you move to Africa. It could be either one is born in Africa, came back, one is black who's living outside the continent, and you're moving back and you are investing money into these projects in it could be Ghana, whatever. I'll use Ghana as an example, right? And the question becomes, okay, you're a couple, so maybe the relationship is very good. So there's no need to take care of these things. I think marriage is a business contract. It's a business contract. You have to look at it. The love part is important, but the love is gonna be chilling today. We're gonna talk about, you know, because nowadays the love is leaving very quickly. Okay, so you have to look at it that, and these are some of the things that I don't want you to do. Is my input. I've seen it before, which is I've people will come, will talk. They said, okay, Tony, my spouse parents give us a land to build our house or to start a business, or the land is in the other spouse name and stuff like that. So we should do something like that. And I tell them, okay, I understand that. Oh, the family is a good family, great. Um, okay, yeah, good families out there. Okay, and so, and I tell them, I say, don't do it. I says it's better come up with the money. It's a couple, go build a neutral, build, buy a neutral place and build. And I think for some people, sometimes it's hard for them to understand this thing because they say, why are we going to take five, $10,000 or more to go build a land when somebody has given us the land, right? And stuff like that. But the way I'm looking at, because I've seen this many times, even when I was in Ghana, is that if something should happen, it's a possibility. I hope not. Nobody plans for that. But if something should happen, the question is, have you put yourself in a way that you can be fairly treated? And when you go build in a spouse land or family land or and stuff like that, or you go build in the region of where they come from, where all that are spouse, whether male or female, has all the family over there, is really difficult. I'll put it nearly impossible to wrestle that thing out, even if you have the documentation to show that, like, you also have invested into that particular project. It's a disadvantage for yours to you, to because it's an uphill battle. Because basically you're probably fighting the person, the spouse, and the family. They have home court advantage. If you're into sports, you know what it means, right? And so these things are important. So it's important you take care of it. Village boy, welcome back. Trust is very good, but verify. Because trust is good. Okay, you think you should trust. You should trust, but this thing has to be looked at from a business lens, right? Um, because there's no guarantees or anything. Um, you never know till you get there and you get it, right? So my thing is that um, have your emotions, but be smart. Be smart because um, and I don't care how you feel about other person. I really don't care. But how you feel or what you think you have now, it could change 5 years, 10 years from now. So take care of the details. These are stuff that couples must sit down and draft and work it and work these agreements and get a lawyer involved and stuff like that. So, and I think if you take care of those things, it is easier to just focus on doing what you need to do and not worry about the potential for something should happen. Because if it happens, you already put those things in place. But if you don't, and then you are doing all the trusting, and the other person trust is not to your level, and something happens, you'll be surprised. People are cold now, man. People are so very, very cold, very um I put it even most like to evil to some extent, um, on the how they treat um a spouse, even doing separation. Forget the kids. The kids, they don't even care about the kids. So you have to be careful, right? I don't want you get into depression. I don't want you to have heart attack. I don't want you to die early. Whatever that is, plan for all these things, take care of the details. Make sure that your hard work, labor, and your finances, everything that's put in there is a way that those things can be tracked, so you can secure yourself. Maybe you end up having the kids, you have resources to give them the therapy, and make sure that you give them some normalcy of a life, from their trauma. Okay. So these things are very important. Now, there's a couple of things I will not be able to get into publicly about that, on additional stuff that you could do, to make sure that you've covered all your bases. But I think if you start on a neutral ground, which I think Accra is more like a neutral ground, like that means if the couple go buys the land somewhere, with their names both on them, um, don't take any excuse why your name is on them, um, stuff like that, and even a property. You do not have to finish building. Um, you do not. You can literally tie the land and everything that will ever come on the land. You can get an agreement with. And I have a good lawyer in Ghana. That will help you make sure that, okay, hey, you know, this belongs to both of us. Anything happens, either pay me out of this thing, and if you're getting payout, you're looking at, let's say you put 50,000, and I put in 50,000, do 50,000 plus adjusted inflation. The current 50 to the value of that, that's what you're doing. And get those things out of the way. And if somebody is forced, resisting, is a sign. It's a sign right away, because if both people are not going to exploit each other, then what's the big deal, right? There shouldn't be a big deal. Okay. So these are things that are very, very important. Secure your documents, put them online, laminate them, get a safe, put them, you know, email that to somebody that you trust to have a copy, and stuff like that. Put them in secure as USD files, store them away. People sometimes you don't know, right? So take care of that, and then you can just go and take care of all those things, right? I hope this makes sense, right? I hope this makes sense. So, because we have to adjust. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the world, which some are coming to the home, penetrating the home, creating mess in there, um, and I think we need to deal with that. Men, I hear you. I know how it is to be a man. I know how you live in the West. The assault on manhood. See, I understand that, but don't break, bend, but don't break. Find your purpose. Uh, be determined, be strong. Find other men who are strong, who are resilient. Join that network, so you can stay focused and ride these things. And to the women that do well to support these men, and play their roles as providing peace, respect, and absolute loyalty. Uh, you know, God's gift. That's a God's gift to a man. Okay, and the terrorists that are in there terrorizing the homes, for whatever the reasons are. I think the men need to stand up and do not allow that ever, without any severe consequences for that behavior. Okay, now questions thrown in there. Inflation, Ghana, no joke. Things are happening. My take, my take. Um, I spoke to a friend a few days ago, and he wished we had recorded a conversation we spoke 2 years ago and a year ago and this year about Ghana's economic outlook, and everything we predicted came true. Everything we predicted came true. And so I'm gonna make another prediction. I think it's gonna be really worse for about another 6 to 7 months. and then there'll be some kind of stability by the IMF. I'm talking about Ghana now, but even that is never going to go back. I think the CD is still going to be depreciated heavily um, for a while. I think I'll not be surprised by the end of the year. Um, CD might go like 50 CDs to $1 or something like that. So we have to really, really figure these things out. How we're gonna move. This is the time that people are sensible, logical, building, creating peace in a house because you can't afford to be out there by yourself with kids. It looks good out there. It's not gonna happen. You can't do it. Your money ain't that big. Even those who have millions, uh, 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 you know, keeping things in house. So this is not a time for nonsense. Okay. So inflation is gonna be there for a while, and Ghana is in a deep shit. To be honest, um, in a deep shit. To be honest, I can see, and I'm saying that because of not the stuff I'm talking about is not public information. We're in a deep shit, right? Because right now, what are we doing now? About what is it? The beginning of the year, 70% of all the revenue Ghana was getting was paying debt. Now it's about 90%, right? 90%. Could you imagine 90% of the money you make is paying debt? It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. It's just not. So these are important things that we need to talk about. So videos like this are the ones that should go viral, but we don't. We want to watch biscuit and cookies. Life is not like that. And so my goal is to make sure you win at a house, in a home, in your business, your life, by making smart decisions. And anybody who's now in the program trying to disrupt the game plan, you gotta be able to deal with that harshly. Gotta be able to deal with that because we don't have time for nonsense. Okay. Yes, night train, true. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride. Okay. And so it is here. It's not, we can't wish this thing away. It's here, it's everywhere. Uh man, I'm seeing it daily here. Food, everything. So we have to be smart. This is where your couple, you gotta be a team. You gotta be a team. Gotta be a team. You can't for happiness, you know what? If you're doing what you're supposed to, you'll be happy. If in a relationship, in a marriage, if both couples are doing their roles, you find happiness in that. And if that doesn't make you happy, find a hobby. Go to the gym, read a book, go get a massage, find a friend you respect, care about, go to dinner, you know, um, and do those things. And no adult is responsible for your total happiness. Nobody should be held to that. You got to find legal ways of, um, making yourself happy. Okay. Yeah. It's no joke, man. It's no joke. It's I don't even I am calculating a few things. I'm in a plastering stage for the house. Stuff like that is just it's just insane. It's really just insane. And nobody knows when it's gonna stop. I think it's gonna go like that for a while. I mean, I'm checking back home and prices are changing by the hour, right? And so this is what happens when you have criminals running the country. And we do tribal politics, right? So, but you were born alone, you're probably gonna go alone. So you got to make these decisions and you got to find your team. Hopefully, your household is strong. There's unity in the house. People understand what it is, and you're not spending time, destroying each other in the house. Okay. Exactly. We are still borrowing. It's bad. It's really bad. Like I told you, I talked to a friend, and man, it's scary being what these people are doing. It's Um, but this is what happens when you use religion and cultural ideas to put people into a trance state of sleepness. They can't do anything. Even when you abuse them, they can't do anything, right? So that's what is going on. I mean, peanuts or prenup. Yeah, so I mean prenup. I think prenup, has is significance. So should be a consideration. And sometimes we impose nap, right? It should because now ideally you wish that's not the case, wish that's not the case. But the way some people are moving now, man, um, I believe that's what you say. Yep. Yes. So I believe that that should be a consideration. It should be a consideration that people should think about, because for me, I want fairness. I just want fairness. And so I don't want anybody taking advantage of anybody. Even when you decide you don't want this thing to continue, it's about fairness. So what I'm saying is fairness, right? So you have to factor that into. Um, but if you're already married, you can do prenup, right? You gotta do a postnup. How that plays out, um, you gotta sort it out. And figure things out. But even if you don't do a quote unquote postnup, stuff like that, I think there's a way you can drive these things and understand that, hey, um, this is what it is, and it's fair to each parties, and then get some lawyers signed it, and then put it aside, and then build something. But if it's hard for somebody to put time and energy resources in, and it's very difficult to compensate people for their time, um, and then something happens, and then it looks like their whole life is destroyed and stuff like that. So I think it's hard. It's really hard. But some people don't care. They will do that to you. So my goal is, don't put yourself in a situation. I don't care how much you love you are, how much trust you think you have. Don't just take care of it. Marriage is a contract, is a business. So you gotta look at it from those lens. And make sure that you check the boxes and put yourself in a situation. So, and if you never have to use it, no problem, right? But if you never have to you go that route, then at least you're not out there on the street eating dog and cat food, um, and stuff like that. So, and it's hard when it's even things are happening privately, but it's also hard when it's public, right? It's a public display of the infighting and the solution. That's difficult because the kids might got to see, people might got to see, and so but some people don't care, so they don't care. So, but you know, it's something that needs to be considered. Okay, I agree. I know sometimes on another side, people saying, okay, a prenup is basically saying there's a lack of foundation of trust, but I don't think so. It's 2022. This is not our grandparents' marriage. It's not. It's a whole different thing. So maybe our grandparents didn't need to do that, but I think this is a very responsible thing to take a look at it, and make sure, because what is happening now is people's individual happiness supersedes the stability, the responsibility, the obligations. So I don't know if another adult can make another adult fully happy. I don't think it's possible. Um, and if they could do it, they could also make themselves happy. So I think if the idea is going to the marriage for happiness, which I think that's not what marriage is about, that's never been about that. Marriage is about roles and responsibility and obligations, and then doing those things, you do find happiness, and you could create some happiness in there, but the foundational stuff is not to be happy. But some people approach it like that because they have traumas. They're able to work some things out, able to find other happiness or self development within themselves. Then it's like it's going to be difficult. So either in this case, if you're the guy, either you basically become neutered, and even still, some women, some, just some, still not happy about that, or you have to become that, um, or you know, something crazy happens. So I think yes, we need to start considering that. We need to start considering that, stuff like that. But if you're already married, then it's probably like you gotta start documenting and getting something done about these projects that you're putting your money and time in. It's very, very important. And so I repeat again, build at a neutral ground. Uh, Build at a neutral ground because you don't want to go build on the other spouse, family land, or the village, that kind of stuff. You can at least get the neutral house first, and then if you want to do other things in somebody's land or village and stuff like that, that's secondary. But the primary one, you want to go neutral, stuff like that. I mean, that is very consistent in what I tell people. I say do it that way for a lot of reasons, right? A lot of reasons. So, all right. Hopefully, it makes sense. We don't want to keep this thing too long. Hopefully, you're still doing your projects, and as much as the inflation is no joke, you're still taking the time to make those decisions, and also making sure that you're not overstretching. Uh, you're not overstretching and being wise about how we spend it, because the inflation is going to be here for some time. It's going to be here for some time. So it's not something that is going to just go away next week. It's going to be here. We don't know how bad it's going to get. So we have to factor all these things in, right? You have to factor all these things in. So all the same, I'm an advocate for you. I wish you the best. And whatever you do, take care of your mind, take care of your emotions, take care of your bodies, take care of yourself, take care of your finances, cultivate healthy friendship, um, read beyond the stars, and just develop yourself on a daily basis. Fundamentally be a good human being, fundamentally be a good human being. That doesn't mean that everybody you meet is going to treat you like that, but be a good human being. Uh, be fair to yourself, be fair to life, treat people well. Um, um, and so it's important, okay? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so that could be that too, right? And stuff. So it's important. We have to really have to look at these things. We have to sort it out. And also see, I think too is like I don't know, maybe when people are maybe marrying when they were not ready. I don't know what the situation is sometimes, because I think people must sit down and figure it out. What is the most important thing, right? Because nobody gets to have it all. So what are the most important things? What are you trying to accomplish? Are we trying to raise better kids than ourselves, better version of ourselves? Are we trying to stop the trauma from stuff like that? Or are we putting our personal happiness above everything else? And I think, and sometimes the couple on the same page, sometimes they're not on the same page, right? So, so I think that's where the discussion is, right? And so these are very, very important. If you don't know where you're going, it's going to be difficult to get there. And people should be held accountable for what they're supposed to do, what they are responsible for, and stuff like that. So both male and female should be held accountable in what they are going to do. Okay, so it's true. Yes, yes, yeah. So that'll be getting it right the first time. Is the most important thing. That negates a lot of this stuff. But Salif, somebody can say, "I already made my mistake." I like to think there's a little bit hope out there. So don't say that. Figure out a way. Figure out a way to work these things out. Is it's very difficult. In relationships are not easy. Marriage is the most difficult thing. It's not easy. I think people don't understand what it is. It's like it's 100%. It's not 50-50, and I'm gonna cut it. It's 100. But I think if people play their roles well and align properly, I think they will overcome a lot of the challenges, right? External forces, external pressures, and so and stuff like that. So yes, I agree. But starting right is very important. And you have to understand what is it that you want. Some people may be a great girlfriend, they don't make a great wife. Some men may be good boyfriends, they don't make good um husbands. So it's very important that we choose right, and then solve all the issues. And because it's like the kids, man. For me, I only worry about the kids because they pay that price that they never asked for. Um, and I know people think the exception they're gonna do it. No, it's not true. Data is there, especially if you have multiple kids. One of them might be okay. The rest is gonna have some issues, right? Then what is the point? You just extended the trauma. Okay, so work these things out. Humble yourself. Um, Stop feeding of attention from people you don't know online. It's part of that too. It's like stop, don't become an attention grabber. Work on yourself, build your confidence. You're good enough. You don't need the likes. You don't need somebody to tell you you're beautiful, you're good looking, you're smart. Develop yourself. If they say great or don't say, it's not a big deal. Know who you are, right? And those things are important. And unify strongly, and then face the world together. Because I think once it goes crazy in the household, um, anything, any short-term gain will be reversed long term. So, and I think that's what people don't understand, right? Take care of yourself, take care of your body, take care of your mind, stuff like that. Eat right, exercise right. I'm exercising every other day now. I feel great. Um, just go at it, go at life hard, and then set goals for yourself, then achieve them and reward yourself, and live the best life. Raise the children to the best of your ability. That's the legacy, right? So, all right. So, other than that, if there's no questions, we're gonna wrap it up in a few minutes, and we're gonna take it from there. So, yes, love hard, think smart, trust, do all that stuff. Take care of the details. Take care of the details. It's very, very important because um, you got life insurance, don't you? You have car insurance, right? You wear a seatbelt, you take care of all those things, not because you're a reckless driver. Well, you shouldn't be a reckless driver. It's better to be alive than not here. So you do all those things, should in case something happen out of your control. Then you can be able to not um, be totally destroyed. Okay. All right. So, okay, fair question. Night train, great question. Um, Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think a few months ago I was talking about let's go at this hard. Um, so I am next year. I'm gonna pause a little bit. I'm gonna probably put half of the money. I'm still gonna be building. I'm probably gonna put half of the money that I put in every year next year. And wait probably to the end of the year and see what happens, right? Then the goals for me is 2024 is to resume going hard again. So the reason for me is that I could do that because I have another house, so I don't have to go hard as it is. Even if I don't do anything next year, I have a place to stay already in Ghana, stuff like that. So I could do that. And if people are in that situation, they already have a place they can stay already. I think they need to watch this inflation thing because it's still going to happen. So we got to be smart. We got to hold some of this money because the money is in the property. You're not getting it back right now. So we have to think about that as well, or save the money. Don't blow the money to go do other things. And then if you have to resume, granted inflation is still high, you can do, you can do more projects and stuff like that. So it's important. So I think now if you have the money, then if you have the money allocated for the building, and it's not going to take away from your emergency funds and your daily obligations and responsibility, then go hard quickly and do kind of stuff. But if you are saving to do it, I think like we want to keep some of the money a little bit for emergencies, right? For other things. So I think that is the approach. I'm looking at it, but my goal is like, man, I want to get this thing done soon too as well because I mean this is my last home for residential. I'm not interested in building any other home again. Maybe I might buy one bedroom apartment down the road, but I'm not interested in building another residential anything away. Because it's like I've been building for a long time, 10 years now. So I want to break and I want to have other interest. So I think factor that in. Okay, if you already have the money saved up, go do it. But other than that, just wait, and then factor everything else that is going on in the world. Um, stuff like that. Okay. Yes, we are good enough. I agree. We are good enough. Okay, so that is the thing we should be watching for, and and in the meantime, also like let's take care of our mental health, all that stuff is very important. Okay, so link up, get a good network, get a good support network, people that are good people fundamentally, that care about you and willing to also help you sort out some few things. Well, obviously, we're here for consultation or other things. The things when we do consultation, it's not just about building. We try to get a sense of, what is it that you want, where you are in life. Um, Hopefully that then we can come up with a game plan that is going to be productive and make you very successful, right? So I always believe a human being is resilient. They can overcome a lot of things, but it's better to start right, right? So don't suffer for the heck of it, right? Don't suffer for the heck of it. Um, we are going to have some our own suffering, but we don't want to live in a roller coaster life for the rest. Every day there's drama. Okay. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. Keeping in USD, keeping in the pound sterling, keeping in US, keep going there. If you have all the CD, just spend them now. That's what I'll do. Keep it in that because that CD will be worthless next week. So if you have money in CDs, just use those on the projects right now, and then keep the rest in USD and euros. Okay. I hope that helps. Everything I tell you, that's what I do. Um, and stuff like that. So, and obviously, I can't give you everything. There's some people come to consultation that we can look at it from an individual basis. And then, I wish you the best. You know, send me some emails and whatever whenever you have questions, and we can take it from there. I want you to win well, live your best life's dream, be healthy, and make a difference. Okay. Thank you for taking the time to join me today. Share the video, and then be smart. Keep your eyes open. Always keep your eyes open. Okay. We will reconvene again in 2 weeks. To then, stay safe. Keep your spirit high. Keep pushing yourself. All right. Thank you.